Are you ready to get out of the sales funnel funk and cover some sales funnel fundamentals? Welcome, you are in the right place. So many coaches and experts and online marketers out there will say you're just one funnel away, but we also know that business coaches talk a lot of so what the do I think about this? Let's dig in. I'm Amy Walker, and I help clients create consistent, predictable sales through organic lead generation and scalable sales strategies. And funnels are like the bane of so many of our existence. How do we get it to work? How do we get it to work at the right price? How do we compete with the other people who have so much ad spend? And here's the reality, the cost of traffic is going up and it's going to continue to grow up. So for us as small business owners that don't have $100,000 a day to spend on Facebook ads, we really need to figure out how to tighten up our funnel and really make sure that every lead that we get, we're giving it the best possible way to get to conversion. So when I hear people say you're just one funnel away, I think that is a load of bleep. I mean, there's so many issues that need to be fixed and adjust, and it's this very oversimplified way of looking at it. And the idea that you're going to be able to do millions of dollars of sales and have a very hands-off sales approach, it's just changing. I feel like that wave and that trend is at the tail end, and we no longer want to buy things that are fully automated as a consumer, right?
You're exactly right.
Especially if you're in the info marketing space, how many times have you bought a program or a course that was totally automated and you didn't finish it? You didn't implement it. I think what people are looking for right now is a better balance between automation and personalization. And that's what we need to really address inside of our funnels. So if you're ready for it, in this video, I'm going to go through the funnel fundamentals. What are each of the things that you need to do each step of the way as you're bringing in a new lead and taking them through to conversion? And I'm going to give you some tips for things that you can do that are not automated, but that are going to require team or hands-on, that will increase the efficiency so that at the end of the day, you are getting more money and your sales funnel is actually working.
In that case, let's get to work.
Yeah! And at the end of the video, I'm going to specifically go over things that you can do to fix your funnel if it is not currently working. If you're new to funnels and you're not quite sure what they are, this is the process of getting a lead online and then bringing them through a series of landing pages and copywriting sequences to convert them into becoming a client. So let's break down the anatomy of the funnel and everything that you need first. First things first, you need a valuable freemium. This is something that clients are going to want to give you their information in exchange for. Let's be honest, nobody wants to subscribe to your newsletter. If I say, hey, do you want to subscribe to my newsletter? You're like, nope, no thanks. Too many emails already. But if I say, hey, would you like a really cool tool called the Ultimate Marketing Calendar where you can put in your sales goal and it will tell you how many leads you need, and then it will calculate your marketing ROI for each of those different lead generation strategies? All of a sudden you're like, yeah, I actually do want that. That sounds like a useful tool. And oh, by the way, here's my email, right? Which, by the way, if you do want that tool, you can grab it in the link below.
Whoa!
So we want to have a valuable tool or resource. Here's what I am not seeing work well anymore. Ebooks that are not actually books. So remember the day when you'd be like, get this free ebook, and then you get it and you're like, it's 5 pages and it's a PDF. It's not really an ebook. It's just kind of like a report. If you want to give a report, call it a report, but don't call it an ebook because then people are disappointed when they get it. I don't see that working well. I also don't see free courses working very well. And I also see that if you're going to be doing a webinar versus a tool, the webinar is going to cost you more money in traffic. So that one's also getting a little bit more expensive. So what is working really well? Digital copies of your book or a free copy of your book where they just pay for shipping. That's working really well. Another thing that's working well is anything that is high value, easy to digest. So things like tools or resource lists. I saw a great one once where it was 250 podcasts that you could pitch yourself to with the name of the producers in there. Now, when I actually got the list, I was like, not all of them are a fit for me because they were like health podcasts and parenting podcasts and blah, blah, blah. But still, you were enticed in because it was something that was not going to take you any time to use, but you were going to be able to get value from it right away. That's what people are really wanting. Something that they don't have to dedicate a lot of effort and energy into, but they can grab it, they can start using it right away. Once you have your valuable freemium, you're going to want to write the squeeze page or the landing page. That is the place where they're going to give you their name and their email, and I really recommend that you add in the phone number. Why? Because it is getting harder and harder to get our emails opened and delivered well. And if you know that only 25% of the people on a good day, 18% on an average day are going to even open up those emails, then we've got over 80% of the people that are never going to see the emails that we send. So if we get the phone numbers, that allows us to be able to do things like integrate text opt-in, or also actually old school, reach out and follow up with your leads. That's going to increase your conversions. So it will increase your cost per lead slightly on the front end, but it's going to increase your conversion enough that it will definitely make up for the increased cost of the lead. So ask for the names, the emails, and the phone numbers on the squeeze page. I recommend that your squeeze page be pretty simple and that it not feel like I have to read a novel in order to download your free thing, but also that it be compelling. Your copywriting in this part is really important. In fact, every phase of the funnel, the copywriting is one of the most important things to make sure that they're like, gotta have it. I want this.
Ooh.
Number 4 thing in your funnel is going to be your offer bump page. So because email marketing open rates are low, we want them to see the offer bump right away. So as soon as they register for the free thing, the thank you page of that freemium is going to be your next offer. So that offer bump could be that you're having them buy a product, like a $27 product. It could be that you're having them register for a masterclass or a webinar. It could be, whatever you want it to be. I would not go high-end offer at this point in time at all, but you want them to see whatever that next step is. If the next step is schedule a call, you could try that. I don't think it's going to work super well. I think you'd be better off getting them to come to a webinar, masterclass, or buy a low-cost offer. The way that mine is set up is there's the free thing, and then they actually go and they get to buy a ticket to an event. And that event is where they really get to know us. So that's the way that mine rolls. And again, it's not a super expensive offer, but it does get that offer in front of everyone. So at least they've seen it.
Oh, 100%.
The next thing we're going to look at is our conversion emails. So our conversion emails, we're going to write a 5-part email sequence. And I do love Russell Brunson's soap opera sequence from his .com Secrets book. And I recommend that you go grab that book. There's so much good information in there if you're interested in and looking for ways to improve your funnels. But that sequence is going to indoctrinate them into what it's like and why they want to be a part of your list. It's the people who are not interested in being in your community will opt out during that indoctrination sequence. And the ones who stay at the end of it and engage with it, they're going to be more interested and ready in taking things to the next step. Now, if you are wanting to get them onto a sales call because you're selling a high ticket offer, during this indoctrination sequence, that's where you're going to want to be encouraging and inviting them to schedule that call. And also, this is where you can plug your sales team in order to get them calling and pre-qualifying and scheduling them on your calendar. If these tips are helpful, make sure that you like the video and then subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. Because traffic costs are going up, the way that we offset that increased traffic cost is through having a high ticket offer. You want to be selling something that's at the higher price point where they can ascend into that space, because sometimes it's going to cost you $200 to get a client. And if you're selling a $50 product, you're going to be losing money every time you sell that first product. So you want something that's high end that can offset what you need to spend in order to get them. Your high ticket offer could be honestly a whole video in itself. This is definitely something that we work on and help people with in our Acquire event. I want to encourage you to look at your high ticket offer in a couple of different terms. Number one, why is the information valuable? What outcomes are you going to produce? We are, as consumers, tired of spending a lot of money to get something that may or may not give us results. So I want you to really, at the forefront of this program creation, figure out how are you going to get amazing results for your clients and put those results at the forefront of the high ticket offer. They're also going to want information, they're going to want results, they're going to want accountability, they're going to want support, they're going to want community. So as you're thinking through your offer, don't just think through like, what am I going to teach them, but the whole experience of how am I going to create a scenario where my clients get consistent, predictable wins and they solve the key problem that they have. And then you're going to want to make sure that the price is something that is reasonable, like it fits within the range of what other people are paying. You're not trying to be the least expensive, you're not trying to be the most expensive, but you do want to create a high value, high return, high reward, high ticket offer. Now, where are you going to sell that high ticket offer? You're really going to sell high ticket in one of three places. Number one is going to be a webinar or a masterclass. And you're not actually going to sell in the webinar or masterclass. You're going to seed, you're going to get them excited, and then they're going to schedule a sales call. So that's one option. Another option is that you do an event, either in person or online. This would be a webinar or masterclass is going to be somewhere between 60 minutes to 2 hours. An event is going to be something that is going to be more like a 1 day or a 2 day. I find that selling is much better if you extend it to a 2-day event. And the reason for that is because you can actually be closing deals in the evenings. So you're like running content during the day, you can close deals in the evening, and you can maximize the sales in a short window of time. But one day they're just not quite ready yet. Like they haven't quite had enough content to be able to say, yes, I'm ready to go. So again, that is going to also require phone sales calls because you're having that one-on-one experience. When people are buying at a high ticket price point, they want someone to talk to. They want to make sure they're feeling good about this. The third thing that you can do is you can just drive them straight to sales call. And what that is going to do is give you consistent sales every single week, but it is going to require an appointment setter, somebody who can call all of those leads, get them pre-qualified, and get them onto your sales calendar. So if you don't want to do sales calls week in, week out, then I would recommend that you look at either the webinar model or you look at the event model, because maybe you only do a webinar every other week. And so you do a webinar and then the next week is sales calls and then webinar and then the next week is sales calls. Or maybe you do an event and you get all your sales done for the month in like 2 days. So it's up to you which model you want to use, but we do want to have a plan in place for how we're going to sell that high ticket offer.
It's going to take some time. Double.
We need now another set of conversion emails. So this is after they've been exposed to the offer, whether it's an event, a webinar, or a sales call. We want a set of emails for the people who haven't bought, that haven't moved into the next level, that's going to encourage and entice them to circle back around and move to the next level. Now, the last thing that I'm going to put on my list is probably the first thing that other people would put on theirs, and that's your ad copy and your ad graphics so that you can drive traffic to this. There's a reason why it's last on my list, not first, and that is going to lead me into the problems for how to fix your funnel. The number one thing that I recommend you do to fix your funnel is actually test your sales process with free leads first. So many people go in and they start putting in money into ads, and then they have broken pieces of their funnel down the road, and they're spending a lot of money on ads, but they're not getting a lot of money out the other end, and that's very frustrating. But more than that, you can't sustain it. Like, your business cannot continue to lose money. So if you'll fix the funnel first and then run ads after you know it works, you're going to be a lot happier. Number 2 suggestion for fixing your funnel is to watch your numbers and your responses really closely and be consistently tweaking as soon as you launch. You don't want to let it run for a long time. If you let it run and your click rate is low, like you need to tweak something in the ad copy to get them to click. If the registration rate on the landing page is low, you need to tweak something to get the landing page registrations up. If your email open rates are low, change up the subject titles. Like you need to watch each phase of that process and make sure that you're paying attention. You don't want to just let it run and then wait and see what's going to happen at the end. Number 3, manually follow up with all of your leads and see if you can boost your conversion rate. And I know you'll be able to. It makes a huge difference. Number 4, once the funnel is working, now is when you want to go in and run ads and scale up the funnel. Number 5, be aggressive with tweaks and changes until this funnel is really running like a well-oiled machine. Number 6, I want you to ask yourself the question, what is the simplest path to the sale? Sometimes we get overly complicated in our funnels and overly complicated in our sales process, and there is sometimes a much simpler way to get there. So make sure that you're always asking yourself that question, what is the simplest path to get to the sale? I hope that this video has been helpful for you. If you're not quite sure where to get started with your marketing, I'm going to actually invite you to go download our Ultimate Marketing Calendar so that we can track the different ways that you're bringing in leads and see which ones are performing, and also make sure that you have enough traffic and enough leads coming in to hit the sales goal consistently. So now you know how to get out of your sales funnel funk and all the sales funnel fundamentals. The next video that I want you to go watch is how to have consistent 10K months. Thanks for watching.